Fantasy Waiver Wire.
That's a debut of a new transition. Not bad. I like the sound effect there. And hopefully we can help you yoink some guys from your league and improve your teams. We're going to try and hit this pretty quickly here because I could probably talk a little unnecessarily at length about some of these players who are rostered in like 10% of leagues. So first of all, I'm sure most of these are dormant or low membership, low activity leagues. But if you are in a competitive league and are in, it is one of the 28% of Yahoo fantasy leagues that has Daniel Jones available. I implore you, stop it. Stop what you're doing. Add him to your roster. The man is a scam right now. He is a fantasy point scam. He needs to be rostered. He is in most leagues, but if you are in a 28% league where he's not, you got to get him. So anyway, we'll start with number one overall ad here, which you can see on the banner below, is going to be not those college football bets, but this. Trey Benson of the Cardinals, as discussed. This kind of breaks our rule as being he's over 50% rostered. He's 52% rostered, but that's big enough, and he's an absolute must-add. Empty the fab clip, blow your number one overall priority on him. He might not be available if he is, but after James Conner's ankle injury, he's a must-add. Projected 14.1 PPR points, 64.8 rushing yards, and a 27.3% anytime TD probability. Needs to be rostered across the board. Wide receiver Calvin Austin of the Steelers. He's 17% rostered. He has 2 touchdowns this season. There's not a lot of wide receiver competition in Pittsburgh, so his path to targets is pretty clear. Whether or not he gets them is kind of up to Aaron Rodgers. You know, he likes his guys, but we project him for 9.9 PPR points this week, 2.9 receptions, 42 receiving yards, and 34.3% anytime TD probability. Titans, wide receiver Elic Ayomanor, 21% rostered. I'm actually surprised this isn't a little higher. Touchdowns in back-to-back games and 5+ targets every week so far this season. Look, Calvin Ridley's in Tennessee, but Ayomanor is the wide receiver one. Let's not be deluding ourselves about that. That has limitations until Cam Ward's ceiling raises. But if you're watching these games, if you're seeing the usage, he's the wide receiver one here in Tennessee. Projected for 9.8 PPR points, 3.3 receptions, 43.2 receiving yards, and a 27.9% anytime TD probability.
I got to jump in on Elic real quick.
Yeah, please.
Sorry to cut you off, but I adore this guy, and using the Dimers Models projections a couple weeks ago, I actually put together an Ayomanor ladder play. And I love with these rookie receivers sometimes. It sounds such sicko betting, right? But with rookie receivers that just aren't getting the target share yet that they're going to get at some point this season, you can get some crazy odds. Like Ayomanor to get 70 receiving yards was like 16-1 in week 2. And he's 1 to 2 big plays away from doing that. Now, snap count wise, this guy is always on the field. And they still throw to Ridley a lot, but Ridley's hands have let them down repeatedly. I think we're already seeing it merge more into Ayomanor as the trusted big play first target for Cam Ward. The biggest issue holding Ayomanor back right now from what I've seen is that Cam Ward is all over the place. Now, I think he's a really talented guy. Part of this might be protection-based, and he's figuring out how to make throws on the run. He's got a rocket arm, too, and when he feels pressure, he'll just kind of uncork a 140-mile-an-hour fastball. But Ayomanor's hands are the only guy on the team that I can see that can catch those fastballs. So I love him. I'm not betting a ladder every single week. It's matchup dependent for me. But I do think there's a really good shot that by the second half of the season, we're all looking at Ayomanor like, oh, this is one of the better receivers in the league, possibly one of the most value-oriented fantasy players, and a guy you can certainly get some big numbers on betting player props-wise right now as well.
Yep. I picked him up this past week, and I started him over Ridley, and it turned out to be about a 5 points better investment. So, yep. Don't sleep on it at all. Please, we implore you. Wide receiver Kevontae Turpin for the Cowboys. He's only 5% rostered as he should be. He's a role player. But now CeeDee Lamb's going to miss at least a game, probably 2, 3, 4, high ankle sprain. It's not something you want to be messing around with. Turpin's got 4 touches on offense in every game and over 50 yards in back-to-back games. He's got special teams upside. He's one of the best returners in the league. Scored touchdowns. He'll get you points there. And as we said, CeeDee Lamb's going to miss a few weeks, so there's opportunity to be had in Dallas. We've got this pretty split between Turpin and Tolbert, but I think it's going to be Turpin personally. He's more versatile. He's the better player, and you get the special teams upside. Wide receiver Trey Tucker of the Raiders, 4% rostered. He has 8 targets and 9 targets in the last 2 weeks. You could do a lot worse on a flyer. Not a whole lot to say about this guy, but 9.4 PPR points projected, 42.5 receiving yards, and 22.6% anytime touchdown in week 4. And I'll give you one tight end here, Brenton Strange of the Jaguars. He's rostered in 25% of leagues. He has 5+ targets in back-to-back games, 59 and 61 yards in 2 games this season. He's gaining chemistry with Trevor Lawrence, who looks a bit of a mess, but they're feeding the ball to guys in that offense. He's a tight end, so not blowing the doors off here with 7.5 PPR points, 32.2 receiving yards, and a 15.6% anytime TD probability. And just a couple names that I'm going to toss out. If Jaden Daniels misses again, you should pick up Marcus Mariota. I wouldn't put in a waiver claim on him tonight, especially because we don't even know if he's going to start, and we don't have projections for him because it's a tentative start. But if you get him Wednesday morning for free, it'd be worth it if you need a quarterback. Like I said, he's got 6 touchdowns and limited appearances with Washington. So you could do a lot worse in a plug-and-play scenario. And one just I'll throw out after I had my notes already together, but wide receiver Tyquan Thornton, games with back-to-back touchdowns for the Chiefs, but Xavier Worthy's coming back. You don't really know what this is going to look like, so wouldn't go crazy trying to pick him up, but he's a guy you should probably have on your radar. If Worthy does not come back this week, then he should absolutely be picked up and started if you are in need of a wide receiver, but don't go benching Jamar Chase because he's got a backup for someone like Tyquan Thornton. I wouldn't be doing that. Yeah, so that's what we got for you this week. As far as pickups, you can always use the projections on site, find more. You got till 3 a.m. Wednesday morning to get these guys in. So
yep,
do it while you can.
You heard the man. Use the tools at your disposal. In fact, I'm going to put a creative twist on your last name you brought up, Tyquan Thornton. If he is still available in your league, here's my tip of what to do with Tyquan Thornton. Add him if you can. Try and trade him if you can. Sell high a little bit on Tyquan Thornton for me, because as Xavier Worthy comes back, I think there is an expiration date. He's a great streaming option week to week right now, and certainly the guy Mahomes seems to trust the most in that room. But he also had a big drop in that Chiefs game where, not a drop, but it hit the ground, ruled incomplete. One play later, Mahomes went back to him and he made a good play. But I still think there's some inconsistencies there. Kind of reminds me of, you remember big play Demarcus Robinson a couple of years ago for the Chiefs? And he would have these like one superhero catches. It's like, if he ever gets a chance, he could be their wide receiver 1. No, it never came together. Thornton to me is a get him, play him for a week or two, maybe see if you can hit the trade block and get somebody that could help you longer into the season in fantasy. So just my 2 cents to add to it, but good stuff as always, Dave. Thank you very much for that. Now, reminder that you should subscribe to this pod so that you can get this pod as soon as it drops on Tuesdays. We obviously have a lot of time-sensitive information that we're presenting in this show every Tuesday and then Thursday when we bring back the second episode. So hopefully, given the nature of the waiver wire, if you time this correctly, you take our advice on these helpful pickups, you hit it as soon as you can in your fantasy football league, you can maximize the benefit that you could get from this. So subscribe to the pod so you don't miss the moment that this comes into your inbox. Leave a comment, leave a like as well, and help support the show as we continue to try and grow this throughout the football season.